So first step that we do is make sure everything is in standard form on one side of the equation. Is everything on one side of the equation?
Yes.
Yes, cool. My A is always what's the coefficient of x squared? So what is the leading coefficient? 2. So I'm going to put 2 in for A. What's my B?
3.
Don't forget that negative because that will mess up your whole answer. Negative 3 is my B. And what's my constant? My C? Beautiful. So that's what you're doing first. Label your letters or your numbers. Make sure you put it in. This equation is always given to you, and it even has x right there, telling you that these are your x-intercepts. So on your formula sheet that you get every single test, it tells you x equals that, and those are your x-intercepts. So now all we do is plug it into the formula. So every time I see a b, I'm going to plug in negative 3. So negative 3, negative 3. Cool. Every time I see an a in this equation, I'm going to plug in a 2. And every time I see a c, I'm going to plug in negative 1. So I'm just plugging it into that equation.
No.
No.
I have a question. Do you like see negative on the outside? That's good. Negative.
I would put it in. I would always make sure to do the parentheses. I would put it in just as you see it, like this. Good question. Because it is not. It's the negative. It's the opposite of negative. So this will actually turn to positive. So when you do this, the parentheses are your most important part here, especially if you're going to do it by typing it into your calculator. That is the most important part too. So now I'm just going to, this is how we do it by hand. I'm just going to simplify it. What's the opposite of negative 3? 3. So I'm just simplifying the equation over and over again. Plus or minus, what's negative 3 squared? 9. It's always positive. Minus, and what's 4 times 2 times negative 20? 160. And since it's negative 160, all over 4. So I'm just simplifying it each time. Then I do it again. So I get 3 plus or minus. And what is 9 minus negative 160? It'll be positive. This one? Yep, that's positive. 169. All over 4. Charlie, put it away. Then we have 3 plus or minus, so I'm just simplifying it each time. What is the square root of 169? 169? 169. Put in your calculator. Not the square of it, square root. The second x squared. Like if you use second x squared, that's square root of 169. 13. Then I separate it into 2 different ones. I have my negative and my positive. So 3 plus 13 over 4, 3 minus 13 over 4. You did 160 instead of 169. Then we do our numerator. So what's 3 plus 13?
16.
Which equals 16 over 4. What is 16 over 4 equal? 4. So my first x-intercept is 4, 0. Now let's do this one. What's 3 minus 13? Negative 10 over 4. And when you put that in ND, what does that end up equaling?
Negative 5 over 2.
Good. Negative 5 over 2. So that's my other x-intercept. And And so that's how we can find our x-intercepts every single time. You're always given that equation, but I'm not going to say, Amir, it's time to use the quadratic formula for this number 15. No, you would need to know, okay, if it says roots and you like doing it this method, then do it this method. So now we're going to do it on your calculator. So get your calculator out. And you're literally typing this in. It's almost like you're typing a text message, right? You're typing this equation in. So the first thing you're going to do is go to ND. And so you want to write these notes down just in case. Go to ND, click on that button, and it should be a fraction bar. So if you click on ND, you should see that fraction bar. We are literally writing this in up here. This equation, so we're at the numerator. It should be like little black dots going back and forth on that numerator. We are writing it in exactly as we see it right there. So negative parentheses, -3. And don't try to do too much. Just literally write in what you have here. See how it has a plus and a minus?
Yeah.
Use plus first. Plus, radical. Don't forget the parentheses or it's all going to be wrong. -3 squared minus 4 times 2 times -24. Second x squared. So type that into your calculator. This is the easy, if you can do this and remember how to do it, like this is the easiest way to get the roots every single time. That's good. Oh, second x squared. There you go. And then type this all underneath. So -4 times 2 times -24. So all you should, yeah, I want you to do that. Then go down to the denominator and put 2 parentheses 2. Then click enter.
I got 4.
Did everyone get 4?
No. The whole thing.
Make sure you typed it in correctly.
No, I thought plus good.
Who didn't get this answer?
Oh, that's what we did.
So when you do this, your answer should be 4. Oh, did you do minus then? Or no? Did you do minus or plus? Oh, do you guys see what I did wrong on my board? This is 20. I don't know. I'll do 20. You see what I did? Well, you got it wrong. I put 20. I thought that said 4 because I can't see right now. So write this down and make sure that you get 4. Let me see. Oh, see right here.
Okay, there, I got 4.
So did everyone get 4 now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Do you see how easy that was?
Yeah.
You're just typing in the equation. So the hardest part about this is just making sure you type it in correctly and don't miss any signs. Then highlight your equation, the original one you did, and click enter. So highlight it like this and click enter. So highlight the original one you wrote in, like you're just scrolling up on your little keyboard, click enter. And now you're going using your little mouse thing on here and changing that plus sign to a minus sign at the very beginning. So going like that. And you're changing that plus sign to a minus sign at the very beginning. And then click enter again. No, not that one, this one right here. So you would it should look now like this. Sorry, this should be minus.
I don't
think I think you changed the wrong one. Make sure it's this one you're changing. You mean from the original one? You forgot negative one. Does anyone need help? Because this is like the most important thing to know how to do. You're literally taking it. Like this is the most important part of today is learning how to take this active school. Because if you can, it will save your life. I do care.
She's missed it.
I didn't highlight it. Anyone else need help learning how to do this?